Hi, this is Okta from Girls of Faith, and this is Antihero Online.
So the big thing that we're here to talk about is the new album from the band, Spiral
Yeah,
Orchard Part 1. Tell me a little bit
yeah.
about the creative process of this record and what you guys kind of learned over the process of the past couple of years.
Oh yeah. So this band Girls of Faith is actually from 2008 or 2009, I believe, and we are like we formed as a band in 2009, but we are being on and off. So like uh, for example, me as a bass player from the band, I have another project, and so I have another project from in another band. So this band is like just 2018, and from 2008 to 2018, it's been 10 years. But we just released one EP and right now just one album. So it's pretty long creative process for us, but we just enjoy the process, and yeah, we hope that we bring the great quality music. So uh, I mean like 9 years, 10 years is a long time, but we try to process everything. Also, it's so slow. Like 10 years just for one album, it's so slow, but we try to make it like the best we can. So
Why did it take so long? Were you guys really adamant in the sounds that you wanted to produce in this record?
we listen to a lot of bands and a lot of musics. Like there are a lot of genre that influence us. For example, we are a metal band, but we also listen to a lot of folk music, like, and also some like really old music from like 70s or 60s, like progressive rock music from those era. So we kind of like we have to think about which part of the era or which part of the genre that we have that we would like to put in the albums. Like for example, in this album we have some elements from progressive 70s progressive rock, but also some early melodic death metal from Gothenburg scene from early in the 90s, and also some what is it some progressive metal stuff. So sounds like some Fates Warning, for example. You gotta take a long time to think. Like for example, our song is 8 minutes long, so we have to like 1 minute is it's gotta be this part, and the second minute, the second part is gotta be this part. So that's why it takes so long because there are a lot of idea and we have like we are five. I'm sorry, like four-piece band, so we have a lot of idea from each personnel. So we have to convey everything. So to put it in one album. So that's why it took so long.
And that's one of the things that I kind of notice about the band's sound. You guys change up a lot in the songs
Yeah.
themselves. What kind of led you guys to go down that path and instead of having one song sound differently than another, you make the entire song sound different in different spots?
Yeah, because like I said before, like we influenced by a lot of genre, a lot of bands. So we have to like nah, it's not we have to, but we want to tell all of our listeners that this is the bands that create us. This is the music that influence us, and that's why like 1 minute it's one genre, and the second it's different genre. So this is the way we express our love to music we create, to music we influenced by. So that's why.
With the influences, was it important to you guys as a band to incorporate those influences and kind of give a strong nod to the people that helped make the band what it is today?
Yeah, I mean like in these 2 days music. I mean people have to I don't know, but I don't want to sound like a smart ass, but people have to like musicians have to educate people. You know what I mean. Also, like there are a lot of musicians or a lot of bands that claim that they're original just by like, but the fact that they're just playing music from 70s, but they claim it to be original. For us, we don't want to be original, but we want to give some people that there is a music that sounds like this. There are some bands that sounds like this. So we have, if you like, in 31 May when the album drop, we're gonna put the influences on a album sleeve so people understand where we come from. So that's why it's really important people. It's really important for people to understand where we came from, what do we listen to, like where this music originated from. That's why it's really important for us.
And it's kind of like an opportunity to deliver a little bit of education to people that might not have listened to some of the bands that influence you. By incorporating that into the sleeve on the album, it might lead people to kind of go and listen to those bands and be like, hey, I hear those elements in your music.
I remember when I was a kid and I bought all those metal records from Roadrunner, and there's a thank you list. I think it's from Fair Factory, the manufacturer, and there is a thank you list that all those bands that all those Roadrunner bands. So I knew a lot of new bands from buying physical records, from buying CDs, from buying cassettes. So we want to bring it back to this era. So that's why.
And the album art has a very 70s progressive vibe. Is that what you guys wanted to deliver with the visual content for the album?
Yeah. I mean, like we people people classify our music as a progressive metal, and as a progressive metal bands, people tend to compare us to Dream Theater or all those technical prog stuff. So I mean, like we love Dream Theater, but we're trying to tell people that there's a lot of bands, there are a lot of good prog bands besides Dream Theater. So we're gonna say, I mean, like for our music, we want to express that this is progressive rock used to sounds like from 70s, from I mean like there are a lot of influences from Genesis, from Camel, from Elry Ross and the other Kansas, and I mean like from the early 70s. So we, like I said before, we want to tell people like this is where the progressive music start, like from 70s and all those bands.
Yeah, I totally dig that, and I really like that about the band. My next question is, how did you guys want to incorporate the acoustics into the sound? That was one of the things that I really enjoyed about the album, was the mix of acoustic guitars and acoustic instruments in with the heaviness of the music as well. How did you guys want to make that happen?
All those acoustic elements, I mean, it all comes from Morning Rise album from Opeth. I remember when I was first listening to Morning Rise, there's a lot of acoustic passages and there's a lot of acoustic element on it. So we want to we want to create an album that sounds heavy, but at the other side it sounds so solemn, so melancholic, if you like. So that's our point. That's how we how we incorporate all those acoustic elements into this metal album.
And it kind of takes you through an emotional journey as well. Like the acoustic elements will kind of get the energy down a little bit, and kind of it's like a period of reflection, and then the metal elements come in and it's like an adrenaline rush. Was that something that you guys wanted to kind of deliver, is like that emotional connection that people can have to the music?
Yeah. I mean, like the whole album, it's all about the people with a mental disease. So like Spare All Child is kind of like the place where you're going down, like it's a downward spiral, and the orchard is like the journey to that place. So that's why there's a lot of like up and downs, like the acoustic and the heavy elements. It's all collected in one song, in one album. So we want the listener to understand that this is what people with mental disease feels like. You know, that's our this it's our destination. So with this album.
And let's talk about you a little bit. How did you get your start in the music industry? What kind of turned the page for you and made you want to create music?
So I mean, like, Goddess of It started in 2008. So at 2008, I was 18 years old, and I was just a really, really young. What is it? Metal kid. Like, I listened to a lot of music, and I listen to a lot of music. But at the same time, I don't only listen to metal. I listen to a lot of experimental music, a lot of noise music at the time. So I kind of like I want to create an art. I want to create an. I think it's a song. I don't think about an album yet. I want to create a song that incorporate all those things that I like. So that's why I decided to become a what people call it a musician. So that's why it's not about I want to be famous or anything, but you know I just want to express myself in this art called music. So that's why.
And what made you realize that? What kind of created that spark that you just wanted to create music? It didn't matter about fame and fortune or any of that. You just wanted to create. What was that kind of defining moment, I guess?
I think in Indonesia, like especially in Jakarta, there's not a lot of people that make a living by music. So I saw it in a real world, and there's a lot of people that create music but still work a daytime job. So that's why like it keeps music being pure, because there's I mean, like, people create music just because people like it, not because it brings fame or money or something like that. I mean, like, if money come or fame come, it's alright, but that's not our goal. So that's why I look at people in Jakarta in Indonesia, and I'm being realistic. So that's it, man.
And you brought up a really good point. You guys are creating music just out of the love of music. Do you think that's a problem in the industry as it is right now? That people are creating music just to get fame and fortune, and they don't do it out of the love of the music anymore?
I think it's kind of hard to separate people that love creating music and people that make music just for money, because I think there's a lot of hybrid. There's a lot of combination at that thing. But I mean, like, if there's a problem with that, I think the problem is inside the musician. It's the musician themselves. It's not about the industry. I mean, like, industry is kind of fucked up from the beginning. so it's I mean it's there is something wrong with the industry. Industry is wrong at the beginning. So I think it's the problem is in the people, in the listener, and the musician. So it's not about the music industry. I mean, music industry is like the idea. It's not people, but it's a concept. It's a like if you talk about market, market is a concept, and people is the one who who doing activities inside the market. So I think the problem lies within the people themselves, not the music industry.
You hit it on some really good points there.
Yeah.
I like this. I like where we're going with this. Now, since you guys are kind of, I guess, in a remote part of the world, and it's probably hard to get your music out there. How much has the digital age helped for bands like yourself to get the music out there to people that might have never had the opportunity to listen to it?
Well, it really helps a lot. Like, internet brings a lot of good music to Indonesia, especially in Jakarta. I mean, like, if you take a look, like early 90s, when the underground scene started happening in Indonesia, that's not a lot of people know because you know I mean like if you are underground musician back in 90s, it's it's only two it's just only two people that get underground music. Either you are very rich or you have an access to people like across the sea. So I mean like right now even like middle like middle what is it like me and I'm not so rich, but I can I can understand a lot of music because of the internet because the information is free everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why like internet brings a lot of good points in I mean for us in what is it third world country if you if you like to call. So it brings a lot of good points, but also there's a lot of negative points. But like people tend to following trend, like trend changing every day because there are a lot of trend up on and off, like coming in and coming out in Indonesia especially. So it's a negative thing. But like I said before, it lies the problem lies in the people. Not the internet fault, but it's people's fault.
Yeah, true, true. And let's talk a little bit about the music scene because I am really curious about the music scene in Indonesia. I know here in the U.S., I mean, we have clubs all over the place and concert venues and stuff like that where we can go and check out a show and check out all this music. What is the scene like there?
Indonesia has like really really large metal scene. We have Emersonic Festival, like we have once a year in Jakarta, and we bring a lot of like really big bands. Like last year we have Carcass, we have what is it? I can't remember. There are a lot of good bands like Cannibal Corpse. We played here,
Oh, wow.
and Behemoth. Yeah, Behemoth, and yeah, there are a lot of big bands, a lot of great bands coming here. Uh, and also in Bandung, in another part of Indonesia, we have Bandung Berisik, which is used to be the largest metal fest in Asia. So like we bring a lot of like one stadium packed, just to listen to metal. So we have really really large, and one of our bands called Burger Kill, they play in Wacken in Germany.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we have really large underground scene, especially metal here.
And one of the things that I know about around here is the metal community. The metal community is really tight knit. It doesn't matter if you're a band or a fan. You could throw a rock and hit about 5 people that listen to the same type of music that you listen to. Is that the same over there?
Yeah, it's the same, especially like right now. If you talk about scene right here, of course we're gonna talk about some politics. I mean like there's some there's some bands that if I mean like the bigger band tend to select tend to what is it if people call it what is it purist or
Hmm.
Puritan,
Yeah.
like we like for example they told in the media like we only listen to this selective band blah 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 blah, and that's why like there's a lot of politics here also, but actually there's not a lot of problem with that with that action because we have a lot of choice. I mean like right now in Jakarta we have a lot of scene happening like metal scene and experimental scene, noise scene, and there's a lot of punk like street punk, hardcore scene also. Like if you, for example, if you do not belong in one scene, you can pick other scene. So there are a lot of choice here. So that's why like there are a lot of festival coming from Indonesia.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I love hearing things like that. Like the metal community is not just this small group. It's worldwide movement, pretty much. What does the future hold for Goddess of Fate right now? What do you guys feel like is left to accomplish?
Oh, there's a lot of things like not yet to be accomplished. Like For now, we just want people to hear our music, like this album, Spiral Chart. And this is a part one, so the part two is coming out after this. And the part two is gonna be a lot of a lot of longer songs. So if people bored by our 8 minute song, people have will really get bored with this next project. So you know
uh,
it's gonna be a lot, yeah, a lot of more complicated music in this part two. And like right now, we just want to promote this album. We just want people to know. We just want to people to hear this art. So we want people to appreciate it and understand there's an educational thing behind this album, and understand people have to check out all those bands that influence us. So that's our mission right now.
I don't think people are going to get bored with the record. Trust me. It's enough of a nice eclectic mix of different things that if you do get bored, you're probably listening to the wrong genre of music.
Thanks, man.
No problem. So, Spiral Orchard comes out May 31st, 2018. Where can people kind of find the record to maybe pre-order and follow you guys online?
Follow us like in Facebook. We have Facebook page. Just search Golf Progressive Rock, and we have Instagram also Golf Prog, GOFPROGROCK, Golf Prog Rock, and we have Twitter also at Goddess of It, and check out our Bandcamp also, goddessofit.bandcamp.com.